Hi y'all, it's Bonnie Rigsby, the Eternal Gypsy and owner of Let Your Soul Breathe. Welcome to our Sunday blog. Today we're going to talk about unconditional love. Now this is the season where we seem to be thinking about that. We want to get into a practice of using it on a daily basis. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about that, my thoughts. Let me know if you agree. I appreciate your feedback at all times. But I'm going to talk about what's passionate in my heart today. First off, conditional love versus unconditional love. What does that really mean? Well, to me, conditional is based on ego, our mindset. I love this because it does this for me. I love that because it does this for me. It's attached to something where you're expecting something in return. Unconditional love, as a contrast, is the complete and total opposite. Unconditional love is giving with the pureness of your soul, coming from spirit, divine intervention, so to speak. And you are using that gift of love in your heart to give to others, but you're not expecting anything in return. And then another big part of unconditional love, which is a really toughie, y'all, is forgiveness. And it's really difficult to forgive others when they really harm us, especially when they're harming our friends or family or our loved ones. We kind of we rile up and say, you're not going to do that, and we never forgive folks. And what it does is it ends up eating ourselves from the inside out. So unconditional love is very difficult to do. We have the ability to do it, but forgiveness is a big part of it that is very difficult for us humans to do. So it's something where we will evolve daily, practice daily until we get it right. I wanted to give you a few examples today of folks who truly got unconditional love and are wonderful examples for us to follow. Now, hey, I know we're not saints, we're humans, we're imperfect beings, every one of us, but we can always strive to be better human beings. And these individuals are perfect examples of what we can strive for. Even bits of what they did can teach us how to be better humans and better to each other so we can have a better world, First off, let's talk about, I think, the most beautiful example of unconditional love. You do not have to be someone of Christian faith to understand the magnitude of the gift of love that was given to us by Jesus Christ. So let's talk a little bit about him and his ability to love. Now, Jesus, as we know, had a pretty rough time of it when he was living here on earth. He was tortured, shamed, betrayed in the worst possible way. And what did he do? He forgave others no matter what they did. The people who tortured him and tormented him, he gave them forgiveness. He knew that they didn't understand what they did, so he asked his Father or God to forgive them for everything that they did to harm him and others. He believed in our humanity and the opportunity for us to grow and learn and change. He believed in forgiveness and gave everything for us so that we could make mistakes and keep trying over and over and over again. Now, again, this is just a human that lived on the earth who was the Son of God in human form and gifted us this gift of life and forgiveness. I truly appreciate that. He is one of our ascended masters, one who mastered his life on the earth in such a perfection way that he was able to ascend to the heavens. And it's just a beautiful gift. So I wanted to honor Jesus today. Of course, I've got my beautiful candle here that I light regularly. Sorry for the glare, of our beautiful Jesus. So honor to Jesus during this Christmas season. That's something we do not want to neglect to honor. So thank you so much, Jesus, for all of that. We are going to move on, and I'm going to talk about a little bit more as far as people that move me in my life. And the list is endless, but we'll talk about people that are pretty well known. Another one of my favorites, y'all, is Princess Diana. want to hold it at an angle because it's a little less glare-ish to do it that way. So look at that beautiful human being. Now, she was beautiful on the inside and out. Her inside is what just overjoys me when I think of her. And I'm going to use an example. Many of you may not have grown up in the 80s, but in the 1980s, HIV and AIDS was very big in the mainstream, and it was a very intense time. It was a time where we did not really understand, and neither did the scientists or doctors. What is this virus? Where did it come from? How do you catch it? How do you treat it? It was a fearful time, y'all. Everyone was panicking. It was intense. It was like, you know, we literally were so afraid that society as a whole would be afraid to talk to people or be close to people or touch another human because they were worried about catching this fatal disease. Because again, at that time, there was no treatment. There was no treatment because they didn't know what it is or how to fix it or how you caught it. We were in a state of fear, and it divided us from each other. Now, let's look at Princess Diana. Now, she did many things humanitarian in her lifetime, and I thank her so much for those gifts. The thing that sticks in my mind the most is in this culture in the 80s of total and complete fear to be near anyone who may potentially have this disease. Diana went to Africa on a mission. Now, pause for a moment. Africa at that time, because of the poor conditions, the living conditions that they're exposed to, they were the highest rates of HIV and AIDS. You know, because of the cleanliness levels and so many different things, it ran rampant in their society. People were dying left and right. It was kind of like an epicenter, like where all this stuff was happening in massive numbers. What did Diana do? She flew to Africa in the epicenter of where all of this was happening. She was not afraid, or if she was, she threw her fear back and said, you know what? This is about humanity. This is about humans doing the right thing, and we're going to do the right thing. And she literally was the first person, you know, social media wasn't around at that time, but media was. She was the first person to publicly shake the hand of someone who had AIDS. Now remember, the rest of society thought if you touched another person's hand, you could get AIDS. We just did not know. She didn't care. She did it anyway because she saw a human in need that she did not want to lack the human touch. She did not want this person to be deprived of the basic human needs that we have. She gifted herself out of love with nothing in return to help that person. She helped babies. She did not wear a mask. She did not do things that normally would be a protective measure during that time. She cradled the babies. She fed them. She took care of people who literally had. She knew they were infected. She did it anyway. That's unconditional love. And it makes me tear up a little bit, and that's okay. Human emotion is supposed to be like that. And because I care so deeply and because I'm so passionate about what she and Jesus and so many others have done, I'm going to feel emotional, and it's a beautiful thing what they did. So let's honor her. Now, there's a few others, or a couple others, that I'll mention just real briefly. Another one of my favorites, Mother Teresa. Oh, just godsend. I'll read this real quick. Let no one ever come to you without leaving better and happier. Be the living expression of God's kindness. Kindness in your face, kindness in your eyes, kindness in your smile. Live in kindness like she did. Okay, another great example. And then Gandhi, who of course was very much about non-violence. Okay, the highest form of human intelligence is to observe everything, including the self, without any form of judgment. Now, let's talk about judgment for one moment here. Part of forgiveness and unconditional love is not judging ourselves, which we're pretty harsh on ourselves, we're critics, also on others. We have to eliminate that. No judgment. You know, it's kind of part of that whole picture. You can't truly forgive, you can't truly have unconditional love If you have a heart that's going to judge folks, we need to eliminate that from our society. And a lot of us, it's our snap reaction. We need to get it out of there, okay? And to honor those who lived their lives, like these folks that I just talked about, in selfless acts for others. Let's do it in their honor. Little bits. We don't expect us to be saints. We're humans. We can't do these grand things this moment, right? I get it. I totally get it. But what we can do is build on little steps that we can take. So for today, we're in the realm of this season where people are more joyful than usual. At the same time, we're more stressed than usual. It's kind of a weird mix. But you know, people tend to be mostly happy, even along with their stress. Greeting other folks, Merry Christmas to you, Happy Holidays, however you express that. But there's more that we can do. Let's not just do that this season, at this time. If we can say every day when we awake, today I'm not going to judge another human. I'm going to listen. I'm going to truly listen to what they have to say. I'm going to forgive folks who truly hurt me. And believe me, I have had my share as well. It's tough to forgive. But you know what? It hurts us more to not forgive that person. It's like, I heard a phrase sometime, and I'll probably get it a little wrong, but you know, it's like drinking poison and expecting someone else to die. When we hold on to something that nasty, we have to let it go. And we have to understand that person at that time had a fear or something that made them behave that way. And they might not be like that anymore. They may have grown, they may have learned. Let's give them a chance, okay? So that is my little plug there. I want to make sure that there's nothing else that's important for me to let you know about today, because I want it to go with you. You will notice that I have taken my glasses off, and let me show you why. My new lighting system. It kind of looks like I have aliens living in my glasses. So I chose to go without so that I don't distract from the message at hand, which is forgive, love others, and thank you so much for listening. I appreciate you in this season. I wish you all a Merry Christmas. I love you all. I hope you will stay tuned and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please do so. We're going to keep switching things and changing things up to make it fit within the moment. So next week is going to be about new beginnings, just in time for the new year. So let's love one another. Let's do it every day. Little steps, y'all. Don't let it be so much pressure. Just, you know, talk to yourself in your mind and say, you know what? Today I'm going to do better. And you can imagine that's going to rapidly advance all around the world and multiply if we do it in droves. So thank you so much for listening. I wish you peace, love, and light. Know as usual on letyoursoulbreathe.com. My full blog is going to be there. I'm trying to do a little bit shorter videos and put the longer versions of just a little bit more education on the website. So make sure you hit up the website, okay? I love you. Peace, love, and light, y'all. Look. All right, now I got to find it. My new little flicker, I call it, for my light. Ready, set, go. Peace, love, and light, y'all. I love you.